Nobody was present. But when the guy who bashed his head in says, whoever finds me, they're going to kill me. So, oh, no, they not. I'm going to put a special mark on you, and whoever touches you, I got you. I'm going to not just defend you. It says, I'm going to exact vengeance on whoever kills Cain. Do y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
The God of the world who's controlling this narrative, when Cain kills Abel, he says, I'm going to, in Genesis 4:15, and the Lord said unto him, whosoever kills you, vengeance. What? The bad kid gets to knock him. I'm a vengeful God. He's going to avenge. If you kill Cain, an avenger, he's in the movie Avengers, right? He's going to exact vengeance and punishment and revenge and punishment and have entertain revengeful feelings, suffer vengeance, taken for blood, avenge. He will take out this grudge. He will punish. Cain don't get punished for killing his brother. But whoever kills Cain, wrath of God. I'm not saying this is the Most High. I'm saying that behavior cannot be the Most High. That sounds like the behavior of the other guy. See, if we understand that the Greek translators are getting us to worship Zeus, getting us to worship Dios, getting us to worship Jupiter and Dionysius and the wine bib, getting us to worship Poseidon, getting us to worship the Macedonians and the Ptolemies and the Caesars and Napoleons, and getting us to worship the image and likeness of the beast, then we'll be all right. Because then we can seek out the original scriptures, the original books of the Bible, and we can find redemption. But if we're going to hold on to their translation, this person is inserting him. Somebody's giving us their story. Somebody's inserting the lie and has us following the wrong way. Please continue, Elder Owen. Please continue.
Thank you so much for that, Boss Ash. Now, the next obvious question for me would be, so what were the African realities of a concept of the devil? I know you've talked to us before about that internal battle with the lower nature. And so I would like you to make it clear in this recording as it relates to this concept of the devil. How did our ancestors view this concept of a Satan, a devil, an accuser, that type of individual or personality or spirit force?
Well, let's first see what Christ said, because when we're talking to Christians, when we're talking to Christians, our brothers and sisters in Christ, Ephesians 6:12. Yeah, I want us to go there. Are y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
Ephesians 6:12.
And the Old Testament says man has internal battle. You follow? We were talking scriptures now, so they're going to quote the Bible, and we got to look at that. Psalms 42 verse 5. Elijah in the book of 1 Kings, Psalms chapter 42 verse 5.
5, yes.
Elijah in 1 Kings 19 verse 4.
1 Kings 19:4.
Romans, for the people who need Paul to say it, chapter 7, verse 14 to 20.
Okay.
Romans chapter 7. And in fact, I think we could best call this an internal conflict. Would y'all agree?
Yes.
Right? That human beings have an internal conflict. Because you say, what did the ancients of Tamaré, the ancients of the Nile River and Niger Delta culture, what is it that we saw as the devil? Because we wasn't worried about fighting something outside. Europe wasn't in our land yet.
Right.
So first and foremost, we were focused on diseases, right? Bacteria, viruses, plagues, curing, making sure people didn't get sick. But then more so, or in addition to that, we were dealing with the internal struggle. Galatians 5:17, if y'all can write that down also.
Yes, awesome.
Galatians
5:17.
17.
5:17.
Is everybody with us?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right? We're battling something. Y'all ready to go there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do it in reverse. Start with the last one, and we're gonna work our way the other way. Is that better?
Yes, Pastor.
Okay.
Galatians
All right.
5:17.
Galatians 5:17, Elder Owen, because
Yes, Pastor.
we're not saying there's no evil, but we're saying evil's a he, she, they, and them, and it's called the 11+1 clan sons of Canaan. There's some people walking around that's evil. That's not me saying it. That's their own behavior. That's their own history. That's their own mentality. Becky evil. When Becky be calling people, when Becky, or what they call it now, what's the name?
Karens.
Karen. When Karens be calling the police on innocent people, that's evil.
Yep.
There's no way to cover that. Okay, so we're looking at Galatians 5:17.
Mm-hmm.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 17.
Can we start? Can we start at 16, please?
Galatians chapter 5, verse 16, under the heading, Walk by the Spirit. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary, the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would.
So Paul of the epistle, he says the flesh lusteth against sarx. So let's see what kind of flesh he's talking about. Sarx, flesh, carnal, the body, natural, born of natural generation, sensuous nature of man, the animal without any suggestion of depravity. Okay. Lustist, that word, epithemial. Now that word epithemial is important because Dr. Tucker, what's the epithemials? What's that root? Is there a medical word with that epithe?
Epi means above. We have the epidermis. You have the epithelial cells. You have
epidural,
epiglottimus. What does that mean?
Correct.
When you talk about the epidermis, what does that mean?
That's the dermis is a layer of skin. So the epidermis would be right above the skin, the layer above it.
Okay.
Epidermis.
Is that the outer layer?
The top layer.
The second layer?
That would be the outermost layer.
Outermost layer. So this is talking about the sensation, because that skin is if I'm correct, because we are teaching church, if I'm correct, or if we're understanding Dr. Tucker, if we're understanding you correct, this is talking about the largest organ in the body, the skin.
The skin, correct.
Okay. So this would be the sensory. We're talking about that which is going to feel. All right, so when we look at this word epithemial, they say it means desire, covet, lust, to turn upon a thing, to have a desire for, long for, to lust after, the covet of those who seek things that are forbidden. It goes on to set the heart upon, Genesis chapter 6:5. The hearts of every heart or imagination of man was nothing but evil continually, to set the heart upon, right? Rightfully or otherwise, to desire, would fain, lust after. And we're going to see again, here's this person from Asclepius down through the Septuagint. So all of this words, when they keep using it, it keeps coming from Greek understanding, Greek translation. Against the spirit, pneuma, and the pneuma, which could be an evil spirit in Greece, against the flesh, sarx. And these are contrary. Now, in Africa, we didn't have this understanding of your natural self being contrary to your spirit self. We saw this as spirit body. There is no the body is against the spirit. This is a Roman and Greek thing that you are. Because if I was in psychology or counseling, what do they call it when your body is working against itself? Even in medicine, what would that be called when the body's working against itself?
Autoimmunity.
Autoimmune. It's an autoimmune, right? Yeah, that's an autoimmune something. Now in psychology, I don't know if Dr. Ford, if you're here, but what is it called when the body is working against itself? When your mind and your body are at odds?
Bipolarism.
Psychosis.
That's a good one for it. When the body and mind are at odds, they call that mind-body disconnection. Let's take a look, because we need to understand. This is called mind-body disconnection, where a person's physical and mental health are negatively impacting each other, often leading to conditions like psychosomatic disorders or chronic stress. Rather than being separate entities, the mind and body are inextricably linked, with mental states influencing physical sensations like headaches from stress, physical conditions affecting mental well-being, such as depression due to physical illness. This disconnection can be resolved by practices that promote mind-body integration, like mindfulness and meditation. So now if I'm a Christian, and we're true Christians, but if I'm reading what Paul is writing here in Galatians and believing it to be the word of the Creator, he's going to have people embracing their disconnection.
Right.
And this is why so many people go to church, mosque, synagogue, or those in the church who read this. Somebody is giving you Hellenism, and then you're in the church, you're a good woman, you're a good man, but you got anxiety, you got all these issues. You can't talk to nobody in the church about it because they telling you wrestling in a spirit and there's a separation. But in medicine, there's a problem.
Yes.
And did Christ deal with people who were under these conditions?
Yes.
Yeah, they said they were grievously vexed with the devil.
With a demon, demonic.
Yep.
This was possession. Go ahead, please.
It's also called dispersonalization as well.
Dispersonalization. What does that mean?
It's when it's a mental health symptom where your body feels, where you feel detached from your own body, and they link it also as DDD, a dissociative disorder linked to severe stress or trauma.
Well, there you have it. But if we didn't know better, we'd be thinking Paul, and Paul got it. Look at him. Look, won't he do it? Yeah, he's setting you up. Your mind and body are contrary one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. But if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness. Now, what about the people who aren't doing adultery and fornication and uncleanliness and lasciviousness? What about the people that aren't doing idolatry and witchcraft and hatred and variance? What about the people who are not doing emulations and wrath and strife and seditions and heresies? What about the people that's not doing envyings and murders and drunkenness and revelings? Because all of this right here, this is Greece and Rome, this is Caesar, this is Macedonia, this the Catholic Church, this the Mormon Church, this the Branch Davidians. This is happening in the church, and they're supposed to be the righteous people.
Yes.
And such like of the witch. Now, how do the unrighteous now suddenly have such control in the church that now the church can no longer, true people of faith, you can't speak against evil in the church anymore. You got to accept gay pastors with first men as husbands, and you got to accept marijuana as being sold by the church. Pastor Jamal Bryan trying to open up a marijuana dispensary to employ the boys. He said, I want to give them jobs. Well, you can get a farm and give them jobs. You don't got to have them farming out something illegal that's going to make people's minds worse. So come on now, let's have a conversation. Let's go to the next passage because y'all scary. Y'all not sure if y'all want to have this discussion. Some of y'all worry about that lightning. Ain't no lightning gonna strike, I promise. And if it do, it'll just be striking you. I'll be okay. I'll still keep talking. Don't worry. All right, let's go. Let's go. What's the next quote we gave you?
Romans 7, 14 to 20.
Romans chapter 7, verse 14 to 20. Again, we're working from Paul. We're working from Paul. Here it talks about the conflict of two natures. Now, this is African theology. Somebody's stealing the African theology, but they're misteaching it.
Yes.
For we know that the law is spiritual. The Torah is spiritual. Don't eat the pig. I didn't even know that was spiritual. All this time I thought the pig was a physical animal, but they told me the law, he's saying the law is spiritual. Is the law spiritual?
What did I say?
No, but it can't be because the law is talking, there's dietary laws. That's physical. There's dress code. That's physical. There's ways to interact with other people. That's physical.
Right.
But he said the law, what law?
Spiritual.
Wait a minute. So the Hebraic, the ancient Hebraic laws, they were not spiritual. But were there laws in the cult of Caesar? Were there decrees in the cult of Caesar? Yeah. Y'all want to look it up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Spiritual decrees and see, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The spiritual decree, because see, Paul is a Roman. So here we are as ancient Hebrews, ancient Africans, but we're reading Paul's books, but we're taking his words as if it applies to us. It don't. What book are we reading? What book are we reading out of, Elder Owen?
We're reading out of the Roman Vulgate.
No. What's the book called? Book of
we're
what?
reading out of Romans, the book of Romans.
So we're reading out of the book of Romans, but ain't no pastor alive willing to investigate did the Romans have a concept of the law being spiritual.
I mean, you pulled it right up.
I dare to
so
ask.
Easy.
I dare to ask the tough questions. I'm just a pain in the butt. My mama told me I'm gonna do your mouth. Oh, I'm gonna do your mouth. Your mouth gonna get you in trouble. So I've been trying to get in good trouble with it. Spiritual decrees in Caesar's cult. Now remember, we looked at just on Sunday that there's this thing called Caesar Gospels that every Caesar emperor, every Roman emperor who came to power, divine birth, Vestal virgins, whole same thing. And somebody's given us this book and we following it and we don't even know that they may have, in fact, they have taken the original scripture and they buried it. The original laws and they buried it. They hid it in plain sight. Told you Elijah Muhammad didn't know what he was talking about. Told you Elijah Muhammad's wife, Clara Muhammad, didn't know what she was doing. Told you Bibi, Amy Jacques Garvey and Marcus Garvey told you to turn on the people who were telling you the truth while they were lying. But it tells you right here, spiritual decrees in Caesar's cult included. So Caesar's cult had laws that were spiritual, included the formal Senate declaration of the title Divus, God, deified for Julius Caesar, the establishment of temples for worship with associated altars and rituals, which tells you in the Bible that when Paul went to Athens, he said, men of Athens, what? That you are worshiping the what God?
Unknown God.
The unknown
God.
The unknown God.
The unknown God.
He said, the God that you're worshiping is the same God that I'm talking about, you men of Athens, the unknown God in Acts chapter 17, verse 23, the unknown God. He's talking unknown God to the people of Athenia and the Athenians. They were Macedonians. They were people of Greece, and they have a doctrine in Acts 17. If you start at 22 and read all the way down to 29, you're going to go, oh my goodness, somebody's, and I'm not saying there's no true Christianity. I'm saying the way they're giving it to us, you will reject the Enuma Elish, but you'll embrace the book of Romans. You will reject the Litany of Ray, but you will embrace the book of Thessalonians. You will reject the book of the Amarna letters. You will reject the Babylonian theodicy. You will reject the original scriptures, but you will grab Thessalonians and Ephesians and Galatians and Romans, and these are the people who were fighting against Christ. These were the people, the African Christ, the Messiah with burnt brass skin and sardine stone skin and woolly hair like sheep, lamb's wool, and red eyes like black people have, black men and black women, and a raspy voice. You'll reject those doctrines, that's your original doctrines, for another Jesus, another spirit, and another gospel. We might want to wake up, black people. We might want to wake up.
That's right.
I know, again, they're going to be, I told y'all years ago, don't get mad at me yet, but one day I'm going to tell you some stuff that's going to make you mad. I used to laugh. I said, no, I'm serious. Well, here's the stuff that makes you mad. For we know that the law, Elder Owen, is spiritual. Now, we're reading Romans. What law are they talking about?
For
we know that the law, they say nomos.
Almost.
We know that the law, the nomos, the law, anything established, anything custom, a law, command, a law or rule producing a state approved, and Mosaic law, Christian law, Pentateuch, nomos, law, gospel, Caesar gospel, Hesiod, oh boy, in secular authors from Hesiodon, anything established, anything received by uses, custom, uses, law, in the Septuagint. Hesiod's, what's Hesiod's book called? Anybody?
Hesiod's Theogony.
Theogony. The Greeks had a theology called the Theogony, but most black people, we don't be knowing. That's why the Holy Catholic Church of the Black Messiah is necessary, so we can help you get to know what you should know, so we can stop being seduced.
Amen.
Now, when we look at that word nomos, can we look at this same chapter? What chapter are we in?
Romans.
7:14.
Chapter 7.
7:14. I'm asking because I want us to look at the Vulgate, because the Vulgate is the Latin, and this is what the Caesars would be speaking, right?
That's right.
So they have here, scimis innum quod lex spiritualis, es ego autem cornalis, sum venudatis sub peccato. Let's see what the Latins would be saying. Is that okay with y'all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This word, scimis, innum quod lex spiritualis. Now we're looking at what verse did it say nomos? 14.
14.
God, we know, edo, God, edo, hoti, ho, nomos. But the Romans have scimis inem quod lex spiritualis.
The spirit.
What's the word here? This word called. We're what type of church, y'all?
Teaching
Church.
Okay. Penitentiary, a place of confinement for persons held in lawful custody. Quad. But meaning in Latin. Okay, so we want to know what the Latin word is. That. Okay. Then it gives us the word for law. Ego autem. Let's look at this word for word translation. We're going to look at it, use the technology available. For we know that the law is spiritual. Lex, that's the word we're looking for. Y'all see it? Like lexicon. Okay, so let's go back and let's grab that word lex. Is everybody with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The
Yes, sir.
word for lex, meaning, in Latin word meaning law or body of laws, from where you get lexicography, the art of writing dictionaries. Lex terrae or terrain, the law of the land. Lex. Now, what did lex represent in Roman times? Very important. In Roman times, lex plural legis was the formal term for a law or statutory provision enacted by one of the Roman assemblies or a sponsoring legislator. These written laws shaped and reflected Roman society across political, economic, social, religious aspects. So the Romans had religion, they had social, they had economy, they had politics. Now, what does this lex represent in the cult of Caesar? There's no specific Roman law called lex. Let me take that off. But rather Caesar's actions and the resulting imperial cult involved various legal and religious developments. What's Paul talking about here? He's talking
Religious
about the
development
religious and the
and legal.
development because he's during the time of Vespasian, Demeter, and Titus, including what they called Lex Julia. Was an ancient Roman law that was introduced by any member of the Julian family. Julius Caesar was of that family. Let's go back. Are y'all writing this down?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And you can write it in the Bible in Romans 7:14. When next to the word Lord, put an asterisk and put the word Lex Julia. This is Roman law, which controlled civilian actions, the formalization of his divine status after his death by the Senate and Octavian, and the suppression of rival forms of worship. So they would suppress anything that's going to rival the worship of Jesus Christus or Isus Christus or JC or Julius Caesar that would challenge the emperor's authority. Here's a breakdown. Lex Julia, social reforms. Divus Julius, deification. Y'all see how this is being put together? And you can read about it in the religion of the Lex Ursonicis, the cult, the possibility of performing public cult even outside the colony. This is how they live. You can read it in the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Brutus, Cassius, Judas, and Cremitus Cordus, the law of the cult of personality. This is not me. Don't get mad at me. Take it up with the McGill University. Take it up with the University, Crimson Tide, Roll Tide. You all roll in Tide, roll on into the University of Alabama and see what they have written. Is everybody still with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So,
All right,
Pastors,
so
they
let's
use
still-
this, excuse me, Pastors, they use this law to emphasize Caesar as a god.
And they
to hammer
insert
that
this
point
law
home.
and they insert it in the Bible.
Right.
Got us following it. God is saying the law is spiritual. This is a Roman concept. But I am cardinal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that I do not. For what I hate, that I do. Hey, don't this sound like TD Jakes? Don't this sound like Puffy? Don't this sound like Creflo? Don't this sound like Benny? You know, Benny Hinn, he's doing the apology tour saying I was wrong. Y'all seen it?
Yep.
Anybody saw who didn't see
I
it?
didn't see it. No, I didn't see
No,
it.
sir.
No, I didn't see it.
So
No, I didn't.
he's apologizing now. Oh, he's saying I'm sorry. All the stuff I lied to people. I was a bad person, but I'm good now. The devil's true. I lied to y'all. Listen now.
That's what I've been in ministry now 50 years. It'll be 50 years this year. That's a long time to last. I think that should be a testimony by itself.
It is. In fact, that's my next question.
you have been following Christ for decades. As you reflect back on those years, are there any regrets that you have?
Absolutely. I'm a human being. I've made mistakes. I remember Paul telling me he made mistakes by the truckloads. We all make mistakes. The two things I regret most in ministry: I was not too wise a number of times with prophecy. Number one, I had guests come to the crusades that I think brought harm to not only people's lives, but also to my reputation, because their prophecies were not really prophecy. They went outside the borders of redemption, because anything that's outside redemption is not prophecy. We know, of course, that prophecy is for edification, exhortation, and comfort, but it must be within redemption. And when people come who go beyond that, we should not allow that. And sadly, I allowed it, and then I stopped. But that was years ago when I stopped. And then there were times when I thought God had showed me something that He wasn't showing me, and I spoke it out. But in 1 Corinthians 13, we see very clearly that we all prophesy in part. That means we don't see the full picture. And sadly,
did he just say I said stuff that
confess
God
it,
didn't show me, but now
but
I'm
sadly,
2 Corinthians 13.
Yes.
there were some
Yes, he
prophecies
did.
I gave that were not
Justify.
accurate or from the Lord. But who's perfect? And for
That's a hell of an apology. Look, man, I don't lie to everybody. Y'all grandmama sent me all their monies, but hey, my bad. That's basically, he just gave him my bad.
that, of course, I ask people to forgive me. I'm just human, and made mistakes like that. And I'll probably make them again, I suppose, down the road, because I'm not perfect. We will be perfect one day when we're with the Lord. As long as we're in this body that's imperfect, we're not going to make perfect decisions and even say the things we need to say or should say. But it's sad when people focus on the times you missed it. But that's just the way it is. Yet there were times when I did not miss it. And then the other one is prosperity. And that's been a very difficult one for me. When I started in ministry, it was simple. And then the ministry grew. I was invited to go to what they call praise-a-thons. And I think that's when my troubles began. I don't blame anyone. But sadly, you get kind of in a place that becomes difficult. You don't know what to do and how to get out of it. So I came to the conclusion in 2019 that I did not want to be a part of the gimmickry of it.
This is after 50 years, y'all. This
Paul's personality.
So now I'm going to stop it, right? Just for the sake of time. This is what we're up against. So Romans, when it says the Lord is spiritual, Elder Owen, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not, but what I would, that I do. But this sounds just like what he just said. My man was like, sorry, it's all that you can say. And then he took it, forgive me. Then he switched it up. Then he just switched it up.
Yeah.
If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law. What law? The spiritual law, that it is good. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. But Genesis 4 tells us sin is a man.
Right.
For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. Paul is telling us he's possessed of the devil, and we still reading his books. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. Now, how these pastors been reading this Bible all these years and didn't see this? For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. Is anybody else read? Y'all want to read this in plain English? Watch this.
Yes.
Yes.
Your screen is stuck on the wrong
Yes,
page,
sir.
Pastor.
Okay. Let's take a look.
Okay. Mhm.
For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am of the flesh, sold under sin. I do not understand my own actions, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. Now, if I do what I do not want, I agree with the law that it is good. For now it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells within me. For I know that nothing good dwells in me, that is in my flesh. For I have the desire to do what is right, but not the ability to carry it out. For I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I keep on doing. Now, if I do what I do not want, it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells within me. So I find it to be a law that when I want to do right, evil lies close at hand. For I delight in the law of God in my inner being. But what did he just say was in him?
Evil.
Sin. So whose
Sin.
law is he delighting in?
Nakash.
Whose law is he delighting in his inner
Caesar's
being?
law.
Caesar's law.
Caesar's law. Yep, that's true.
Christ said, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar. So Caesar's laws were there. Caesar's laws were in play. Paul is doing Caesar's bidding. He's a Flavian. And the Paulite pastors got us following Flavian doctrine. Let's go back and keep reading, Elder Owen. And I'm doing this, and I really pray everybody's following along. Don't let them twist my words and say, he said he don't believe in the Most High. No, I said there's another Jesus, there's another doctrine, there's another spirit. I said 2 Corinthians 4:4 talks about Satan is the God of this world. I said that when when Satan was asked in the book of Job, where you coming from? Job chapter 1, verse 6, he said, from to and fro in the earth. So that fool was hanging out. He was walking around. And him and his angels have been walking around and been loosed upon the earth in this latter day. And they are beguiling people. You got all these crooked clergy telling us stuff that is not there. The law is not spiritual. The law is physical. And by following these physical disciplines, it protects the mind and the psyche and unifies us mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally into a full being. Goes on. For I delight in the law of God in my inner being. But he just said it. How's he saying that? But see, we thinking it's talking about the Most High. He just said it. Sin, that what dwells in him?
Sin.
Sin. So what law is he talking about in his inner being?
Caesar's law.
Sin's law.
Sin's law.
The same law that
Nonsense.
in Genesis 4, what was Cain told? Sin crouches at the door and does what at the door?
Waits.
It says wait, that's it. That's all it says. It just sits at that door waiting. I'm just having fun. He said waits. Huh? Sin crouches at the door and does what? Genesis 4:7. Genesis 4:7.
Okay,
If
Genesis
thou
4,
doest
7.
well,
And
shalt thou
unto
not
thee
be
shall be his
accepted.
desire.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. Can we look at the word lieth, please? Is everybody still, all the student
Yes,
teachers?
Pastor.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all here?
Yes.
To use the word for lias, rabbits, proud couches, lies oneself down, laying, stretched out. but it says it comes from a primitive root. Makes a fold, rest, sits. It's there, it's present. Sin is there. And they warn us in the book of Jude that this is the behavior of Cain. What does it say in Jude? Jude chapter 1, verse 11. Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of who?
Cain.
You see? They're following the tariq, the path, the behavior, the hudos. Following the hudos, the journey, the lifestyle, traveling, the conduct, the thinking, the feelings, the deciding that we've picked up Cain's behavior.
Yes.
When we go back to Genesis 4, we're warned. Sin crouches at the door in Genesis 4, and then what happens with Cain in Genesis 4?
The heavenly command. His desire.
And unto you shall be his, and unto thee shall be his desire. What? And you shall rule over him. What's the door? Feta, to open. Feta. It doesn't say door. The word is feta, the very word feta, the creator. Feta. And they say this word feta comes from the Hebrew 6607. To loose, to open, the grave, to open, and that word fatah, el fatahu, the 18th attribute, the opener. It's a door, an entry, an opening, a doorway. He's at the doorway. The same door Christ says, I stand at the door of your heart and I knock. Well, guess who's also standing at the door and knocking? Sin. And according to Paul's own words, he let him in.
Yes.
Because he says, sin within me. Again, they're not going to like this when you reveal it, but you got to be willing, you got to be bold enough to tell people and say, no, it's right here. Are y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back, Elder. I want to continue. We're still in what chapter? Romans what?
Chapter 7.
Romans
7.
chapter 7. Romans 7. What verse are we at?
We're down at verse 20. 20. He says, now if we do that, we would not send that dwelleth in me.
Yeah.
20.
We're going back. I'm going back. And
21 actually.
I know we haven't taken a commercial. We will get ready. We'll take a quick one. Social media can get ready for us. All right. So we're in Romans 7. This is important. The way we're doing this. And this can be, we're going to do a booklet. I'll put the booklet out. We're going to take this and make it into a booklet. Because your question began tonight about how Satan gets involved, how he come about. And then your next question, Elder Owen, was
what were the ancient African realities on this concept of the devil and Satan?
Concept of the devil and Satan, yeah. And this battle, who we fighting? And I said, well, the battle was an African theology and cosmology of fighting something that's inside. But we didn't have a fight. We talked about controlling and bringing the carnal self, not pornography and that kind of self. No, just controlling your urges. So our religion had Yom Kafara, what the Jews call Yom Kippur, where you controlled your food intake. You see, it had when you saw the people walking around frolicking, you put on long white robes and pantaloon, right? The pants. When you saw women behaving like men and men behaving like women, you decided to be a man and be a woman, be regal lady and noble man. Please mute your mic. And when we saw certain things, we understood being what we were supposed to be. Amen.
Amen.
All right. It goes on. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law. Then he goes on. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. In my inner being. Verse 23, but I see in my members another law, waging war against the law of my mind. He sees in his body another law waging war against the law of his mind and making him captive to the law of sin that dwells in my members.
Wow.
Now you're telling me the pastors who've been, because I know all of y'all come from church, many of you come from church, and they say, no, my pastor's a good person. No, your pastor's a demon. Your pastor read this stuff and he wasn't teaching you this.
Mhm.
And yeah, I said it, and I challenged them to disprove what I just said. Because I'm going to ask every pastor, did you read the Bible? Yes. Did you read it cover to cover? Yes. I know y'all quote Romans 7 because I've heard them misteach it. And Paul said, in the sin that buffeted. Wait. Stop for a second. Are you hearing yourself?
No.
And they use the word melos, member, limb, bodies given up to criminal intercourse. So there's natural intercourse and there's criminal intercourse. I don't think we need to define criminal intercourse, right? I think everybody knows what criminal intercourse is.
Yes.
Because they are, as it were, members belonging to the what body?
Harlot's body.
Oh,
The harlot's body.
Harlot's body.
prostitution and
Harlot's body.
harlotry.
Mhm.
So Paul belongs to what?
The harlot's
Member of the
body.
harlot's body.
I'm just reading what's on the screen. Don't get mad at me. Like
Right.
Paul said, in his body. What body?
That's what he said.
He said it now. Don't get mad at me. I don't mind get mad anymore. Get mad, hell. So I want our people to wake up. So we're gonna have to wake you up. It's a little difficult. The harlot's body. What part of the harlot's body? What part does the male or female prostitute? Which part of their body?
Come on, man.
The whole thing,
Everything.
body,
The
everything.
whole body.
Yeah. Y'all don't know about prostitutes? I mean, I ain't never picked one up, but I do know.
It's for members.
The fact that it said criminal intercourse, because they are, as it was, belonging to the harlot's body. Criminal intercourse. 1 Corinthians 6:15. Know you not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of a harlot? Is that what's happening in the church today? Is the church being made into the members of the harlot's body? I'm just asking. Waging war, we talk about antichristos, anti-stratio omahi. Stratmo omahi. You know what anti means, to go against. This word, stratium amahi. What does this word stratmo amahi mean? Warfare, soldier. Paul just said he's a soldier waging war. And you know, Paul was counterintelligence. He was COINTELPRO. He was hired to go out and kill the disciples. And after he eliminated the disciples, he was then hired to create a new doctrine to replace the disciples' doctrine. And he's been very successful, him and his disciples. It literally says a military expedition to lead soldiers to war. What war was Paul waging? And for which God? I'm just asking. Matter of fact, I'm just showing. Matter of fact, we're just reading. The law of my mind, nous. That's not African. See, the nous in Greek theology, in Greek teachings, what was nous to the Greeks? Referred to the mind and intellect or spirit encompassing the highest faculty of understanding by their standards, reasoning by their standards. And the Greeks didn't consider nobody else to matter except Greeks. Huh? And who's the God nous? Or the concept of a God? They say there is not one, but the philosophical and theological term referring to intellect. So in Hesiod's writings, in the Theogony, they talk about the nous. Are y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a commercial break. We're going to come right back.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You're listening to the Holy Cookie Church of the Black Messiah, the Journey Home Group International. We'll be right back.
Let's talk about how you can help spread the good news of atonism. You can work with your local Kanisa and ask about their outreach activities and even host classes yourself. You can post online, you can ask questions in chat rooms and on social media. You can share your experiences about how atonism has changed your life for the better. You can even give the gift of reading by helping someone else shift their mindset. And most importantly, you can wear your clothes daily to represent your culture. Learn how to set the table. Learn what to say and how to say it with the Cuptic Review Assessment, only $29.99. www